Here's a story about my father. Let's talk about that. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of About My Father, the newest film from director Laura Terruso. So based off, or kind of based off the character that is Sebastian Maniscalco's father, this story, which is co-written by Sebastian himself, is about a character named Sebastian, who of course is played by Sebastian. And it's a story of how he grew up in America, came over from Sicily. His father, of course, played by Robert De Niro, is Italian American. And he basically grew up in the Italian way, very, very of that type. And so one day he meets a character who's played by Leslie Bibb. She basically kind of transforms in a lot of ways, and she wants to take him to her family's summer house because they're very, very wealthy. And so in the process, he wants to propose because he thinks she's the one, and it leads them having to take Robert De Niro's character, the Salvo character, to the family estate. Which, of course, if you've seen stuff like, Meet the Parents or something like that, you know that there's going to be hijinks. They, of course, have two kids that are very, eccentric in a lot of ways. One of them is one of the characters from Workaholics. And it basically is about how two cultures, two different ideologies, two different worlds have to come together and work with one another when everything can go very, very wrong. So in the process, Sebastian is very scared, but of course, this is about family and how family justifies the means and reasons that they live. So there you go. So with a story like this, similar to something like Easter Sunday, which is Joe Coy's basically biography in a lot of respects, Sebastian Maniscalco is a well-known comedian at this point, very, very famous, very, very funny apparently. This is a story he wanted to tell. He loves his father. He wanted to kind of show the nuts and bolts and the kind of the ticks that, what his father is like. And on top of everything, his father was a hairdresser, which is very interesting. But on top of that, as I've learned, Robert De Niro really was impressed with the script. He was given it to it by Paul Weitz, who's a producer on this film, and he got on board. And then you have people, like I said, like Kim Cattrall, and you have David Rasche, and you have Dier, Andrews Holmes, who of course was in Workaholics, and you got a movie that could be a lot of fun. It's only 89 minutes long, and as we've known from stuff like Meet the Parents or Dirty Grandpa or something like that, Robert De Niro can do comedy. So this trailer feels like a very dramatic comedy in a lot of respects, but kind of comedic takes when it comes to like people from Sicily and the Italian immigrants and stuff like that. So I was looking forward to this movie. It doesn't look like it's going to do very well in the theaters, even though it's coming out Memorial Weekend because Little Mermaid comes out. But I still was like, you know what? If it entertains me, that's all that matters. That's all I want out of this movie. So, yeah. So how did that hold up? What's the overall thoughts on this movie? And so overall, my take on this movie is I enjoyed it. I laughed. I had a good time with it. It's only 89 minutes long, so you're not in the theater for very long. It's a movie that goes by pretty quickly. I think Sebastian Maniscalco and Robert De Niro have great chemistry together. This is really a film that you can tell that Sebastian was really had a lot of heart put into it. He wrote this with Austin Earl, and it really feels like he put a lot of himself into this movie because it is kind of an autobiographical type of movie in a lot of respects because his father was a hairstylist, and he does all this kind of mannerisms and stuff like that. So when he's doing voiceover work and when he's like telling about his father, it seems very authentic. Now, with that said, I don't know the other side of the story, the Leslie Bibb character, that feels very much kind of a way for Robert De Niro and Sebastian to play off one another. So it feels a little inauthentic. Yes, rich people are very eccentric. Yes, they do crazy things. Yes, they have over-the-top worlds that they live in, but this almost feels like a stereotype type character. All the characters in this, you have the eccentric kind of douchebag brother, and you have like, I don't know, the one that's very weird and kind of like, likes hippie style and stuff like that. And Leslie Bibb is like the centerpiece. She's like the Terry Polo from Meet the Parents in a lot of respects. And there is a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of like similarities to Meet the Parents when it comes to, or Meet the Fockers, when it comes to like its storytelling and what it's trying to do. So it does realm into stuff that you've seen like a million times before. But I think when it boils down to it, I think there's just enough there that you can just be entertained. You're not going to be, insulted by watching this movie because it is the characters, the people are having fun. Even the rich people that are in this movie, they're having fun. I think that's what makes this movie is overall just a fun, entertaining time at the theater. It's once again, it's not a movie that's going to make a lot of money during Memorial Day weekend with Little Mermaid coming out. But I found everything about it. There's some jokes in here that are laugh out loud funny. There's one joke in here that I felt like kind of missed the point. and didn't really work very well, and you'll know it because it just kind of comes and goes really quickly. And I think in the end, to kind of, I guess, conclude this review, since it's not very long, it's a movie that's fun. It's a movie that if you watch on TV, you won't be upset that you're watching it. You'll enjoy it yourself. If you go to the theaters, it won't be a waste of your money. Once again, it is a movie you've seen before in better films. But I think in the end, I think there's just enough there that it feels justifiable with what it's trying to do. And once again, Robert De Niro proves why he's as good as he is. And Sebastian Maniscalco is able to write a script that is actually funny, unlike some other, based on comedian characters and stuff like that I've talked about in the past. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm gonna leave it. Like I said, just it's a fun movie. So that's kind of how you have to boil it down. It has some fun moments, and yeah, it's worth watching. So I'll give it that. But with that said, that is my take on About My Father, the new film of Robert De Niro and Sebastian Maniscalco. Yeah, there you go. So with that said, in the comments below, are you planning on seeing this movie? Is it something that looks interesting to you? Have you even heard about this movie? If you have, definitely check out the trailer. You might enjoy it. Otherwise, if you like what you see on the channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell top to find what's coming next. If you like the video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.